Hi ladies, Tanya here from Beauty Academy South East. So for those of you that was watching last week, I done a short series of videos of how to remove gel nails, acrylic nails, lash extensions, how to look after your skin, how to look after your hair while we're all in lockdown and we've got this little bit of time. We've got time on our hands, haven't we, basically? So I've had a few people ask me about, okay, I've taken off my gels, I've taken off my acrylics, my nails are short and stubby, how can I make them look better? So I thought I'd give you just a little mini manicure. I am going to show you how to paint nails, but ideally, I don't want you to paint your nails, I want you to leave them natural. And I'm going to show you a few tips of how you can look after them, make them look great without having nail varnish on. If you have to wear nail varnish, that's fine. I mean, it is nice. Sometimes you just want to spruce yourself up a little bit. So like I say, I'm going to show you how to paint nails properly and hopefully to last longer than half an hour. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. So first of all, I actually filed my nails down last week, so I've not got a lot to file. But basically, ideally you want to start with washing your hands, okay? Always so your hands are nice and clean. So the first thing you would normally do would be file your nails. So if you've got long nails, or you've taken off acrylics or gels and you've got quite long nails underneath, but they're a little bit paper thin, the best way to remove the nail, to shorten it, would be to use the good old-fashioned nail clippers. So what you would do, you would go in one side and clip, the other side and clip. Once you've taken off the length, because that's just going to take you an age in filing, and obviously if your nails are very thin, very soft, filing your nails can just bend them and it's not great. So take off the length with nail clippers, and then with your file, generally most files like this, you get one side that's thicker or rougher than the other. So for your fingernails, you always want to use the finer side, so the softer side, okay? Now, again, for those of you that did watch the videos last week, I did tell you about we do not seesaw. So when we're filing our nails, I like mine quite, well, they're quite squoval, which is square at the top, but slightly rounded or oval at the edges, okay? So I don't know if you can see. That's sort of like a squoval nail. When they're square, they're completely pointed at the edge, but I just scratch myself, so that's never good. So when you come to filing your own nails, it's going to be a little bit tricky because I'm kind of behind myself and up around the wrong way, but never mind, I'm going to try my best for you. So when you're filing your nails, you always go from the outer edge into the middle, okay? And then you go the other side from the outer edge into the middle. What we don't want to do is seesaw. If you do this, for one, it sends that horrible old-fashioned blackboard claws down your back, but secondly, it can actually weaken your own nail, which we don't want to do. So what we do, outer side into the middle, outer side into the middle, okay? You'll obviously do that on all 10 nails. Obviously when you're doing your left hand, it is always going to be a little bit trickier, but practice makes perfect, okay? So like I said, ideally we really want to leave our nails bare, okay, like that. Any cream or oil you put on your nails goes through the nail, it will absorb through, and it will actually help to feed and nourish the nail, making it grow stronger and thicken them up a little bit as well, okay? So if you've got, you see it quite often if people have had nails on for a long time, they look quite dry, almost flaky bits on their nail. So I don't know if any of you have got one of these four-sided buffers. This is my Tropic one, okay? And this has got four sides. So the black side is a file. So again, you can actually use this to file your nails into shape. And then you've got three sides. And it does actually, I don't know if you can see the numbers on here. You've got 1, 2, and 3. So what you would do, this is a buffer and a shiner. So what this does, you use the dark green side first, and you're literally going to buff. You can seesaw with a buffer because they're really soft and gentle. You're going to buff across the whole nail plate, okay? I'm only going to do one now to show you. I'm going to be really bored if I sit and do all 10. And I don't know if you can see what that does. It just kind of takes the slight shine off your own nail. So if you've got the dry patches, that is brilliant. That just makes your nail look healthier straight away. So for a nice gentle buff, then you're going to go on to the lighter green, or number 2, and you're going to go over exactly the same area, exactly the same way. And that just helps to take off any of those bits or any of the loose nail. And again, I don't know if you can see, it's slightly shinier. Then the last side you're going to use is the white side. Now you might hear some funny noises because it can be a bit squeaky. And this is actually your shiner. don't know if you can hear that, it's a little bit squeaky. And then if you go across the whole nail, you can hardly feel it on your nail. There's no buff on there at all. It's really, really soft. And again, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but you can see the nail is actually really quite shiny. Okay, so this is what you should, this 3 steps is what you should be doing if you've just taken off gel nails or acrylic nails and your nails are a little bit worse for wear and they need a little bit of TLC. The next thing you do after that is, again, twice a day at least, you want to be using a really good hand cream. Okay, so again, you just want to pop that under the middle of your palm, rub together. You want to get it on the tops of your hands, in between your fingers. Put some on your nails. Why not? It's going to feed and nourish, okay? You can go right up to your wrists. So we're all washing our hands a lot more than we are, or than we normally would be. As a therapist, I don't normally wash my hands with soap and water because they get very dry and sore. So I actually do use a hand sanitizer in between clients before and after, or if I'm teaching, even if I'm walking around watching the students, if I'm going to touch any of their clients, I'm always sanitising, and them hand sanitisers are brilliant because they don't make my hands sore or dry or anything. But I do use my Tropic superfood every single night. It's really nice hand cream. It doesn't feel oily, doesn't feel greasy. Literally about 2 minutes later you can do normal stuff, you can undo jars and stuff, and it's absolutely fine. It doesn't leave a greasy film on your skin. So again, if we're not painting our nails, we've just buffed them. When you get to this stage, so they're nice and moisturised with the cream. Now this, I just want to show you, you've probably all heard of what a cuticle, and the cuticle is this part of the nail here, okay? And what the cuticle does, it actually protects the nail bed, which is down here, okay, the matrix. This is where the nail grows from. So if the cuticle here is damaged or compromised, so if you pick it or you catch it or you bite it, and this is broken, you're actually going to allow potentially infection to go down into the nail matrix, and again that can cause permanent damage in your nail. So your cuticles are actually a really important part of your fingernail, so we really need to look after them. Now some people's cuticles are very dry. Mine do tend to get quite dry, and my cuticles will grow up my nail here, which doesn't look very pleasant. So I'm forever pushing my cuticles back. So when you've done your hand cream and your nails are a little bit warm, a little bit moist because of the cream, I don't know if you've got like a good old-fashioned orange stick at home. I mean, in the salon we obviously use a proper double-sided pusher, which is metal, and you have to be very gentle with metal on nails because you don't want to scrape the nail off. But what you would do is just very gently push back the cuticle there. But if at home you've got an orange stick, that's just as good. Okay, so you would literally just push down your cuticle and you'll feel a natural resistance. So don't go pushing further than that because it's going to hurt. You don't need to do that. And again, you might compromise the cuticle and it might damage and break. Okay, so again, you do that on all 5 fingers. So now you've pushed that back, the next thing you want to do is apply your nail nectar. Again, this is a Tropic product. I love this. I did say on one of the videos last week, I've always used OPI, their nail oil, cuticle oil, which is lovely. But this, and the OPI one, I think £17. These are only £8, and I think it's slightly better than the OPI one. Don't tell anyone that I said that. But what you would do, so once you've buffed your nails, you fold your nails, you've buffed your nails, you've tended your cuticles if you need to, then you're just going to pop a little bit of this oil on the nail and you're just going to rub it in. So you can see I'm doing the nail, I'm going across the top of the nail, underneath the back of the nail, and right the way around the cuticle. So you've got your hand cream all over the hand area, top and bottom, but with this nail oil, it's such a fine, or it's not a thick gloopy oil, as nail oils are. They are generally quite a soft, very thin oil. And then again, you would just then sit for a good 10-15 minutes, just like this. Let your fingernails, let the nails and the skin absorb that oil. Now, your nail and your skin will only absorb what it needs. So after maybe 10 or 15 minutes, you can very gently just wipe off the oil with your hands, rub it in. Don't waste it. Don't wipe it down your dressing gown or down your leggings. Rub it in your hands, okay? Because any oil is gonna nourish. Okay, does that all make sense? Hopefully it does. So ideally, that's what you're going to do. do that every single night. Okay, you don't obviously need to file your nails every single night, but this, the actual 3-sided buffer, is fantastic to use every single night. And also when you're buffing this, because it's a very gentle buffer, you're actually stimulating nail growth as well, because you're going to be increasing lots of new healthy cells underneath. So this is a really, really good tool to use. You can do it sitting in front of EastEnders or whatever it is you watch every night, just for 5-10 minutes. Again, it is a little bit tricky when you do on the other hand, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get. Once you've done that, your hand cream and your nail oil, and then you can just sit there for a good 10-15 minutes letting everything absorb and soak in. And I promise you, I absolutely promise you, in 2 weeks time you won't recognise your nails. They'll be healthier looking, they'll be thicker, and they'll be growing as well. Okay, and obviously by using the superfood hand therapy, the hand cream, it's not only for your nails, it's for your whole hands as well. And obviously, like I said, because we're all washing our hands a lot more than we are normally at the moment, we all really should be using a really good hand cream. Okay, so with the nail painting, we've got 3 products. So we have our base coat. There is 2 reasons why you use a base coat. The first one is it protects the colour stainage on your nail, and secondly, acts as a slight adhesive. So when you put your nail colour on, it's got something to stick to. Okay, so you always put 1 coat of base on first, then you choose your colour. You always put 2 coats of colour on, and then your third one is your top coat. So again, there's 2 reasons why we use a top coat. Firstly, it seals in the colour, and secondly, it gives a lovely, lovely shine. Okay, now if you are going to paint your nails, there's a few top tips I want to show you to make your nail varnish last longer. Okay, so the first one is, before we actually paint, we're going to use, I've got a little pump dispenser here, but a non-acetone polish remover. Okay, so with my one, I just push that down, and obviously the stuff comes out the top. So what you're going to do is you're going to cleanse your nails. You're going to really, can you hear? You want to be getting them squeaky clean, literally. So I'm going to remove all the goodness. This is why I don't really like you painting your nails. We've just put on. So all that cream and all that oil we're removing, because obviously if we leave them on the nail varnish won't stick. Okay, so this is a really, really good tip. A lot of people don't think to do this, but what this is doing is actually dehydrating your nail. Now, my nails are not very long. If your nails are longer, I would suggest you go underneath the back of the nail as well. But I literally am taking off all of the creams and oils from around all the cuticle as well. Okay. So then we're going to do our base coat. Now, there's a nice, simple way of painting your nails professionally. Okay, and that's a 3-stroke application. So we're going to do our first stripe down the middle from the cuticle to the tip. Then we're going to do almost like a sideways stroke around this way, and then another one around this way. And then another top tip is to actually, if you've got any free edge, like this little bit at the top here, if you've got really short nails, you won't have that, so you won't be able to do this. But if you have got a little bit of free edge, actually, when you're applying all of your coats, whether it's the base coat, the colour and the top, you want to go across the top of the nail and over the tip. So you're going to paint the front of the nail, but you're going to go over the tip as well. Now, when I'm teaching, I say to my students, don't worry if you get nail varnish here. It's not a problem. You just take it off with your orange stick, you dip it in your in your nail varnish remover, and you just take the colour off. It's not a problem. Okay, I'd rather you get it on the skin here at the back and have a good what we're looking at doing is we want to tip the cap. Okay, so we're literally going to go right over the end. That will then protect this bit, which, because if you think about it, every time you do something, it's always the tip of your nails that bears the brunt. So if this is covered in 4 coats of polish, that is also going to make your nail varnish last a lot longer. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to paint my nails now. I'm just going to do one hand to show you the 3 coats. Okay. Well, that was probably the worst painting job I've ever done on myself, but trying to do it in midair so you guys can see, holding the brush, I'm up the wrong way, so I will apologise, I don't look too closely. And then obviously you do need to let your nails dry for about an hour to dry properly. They will be touch dry in about 10 to 15 minutes, but to be hard, they will take up to an hour. And then ideally that should last you at least 5 to 7 days. It does depend on how heavy-handed you are and obviously what you're doing. If you've got your hands stuck down the toilet with loads of bleach and what have you, it's obviously not going to last as well as someone that's going to be looking after them. Okay, so let me know your thoughts. Let me know. Send me in some pictures. Send me in some pictures. I'd love to see your before and after pictures of your nails. Okay, any comments, questions, queries, anything at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm now on YouTube under The Base Lady, so please look me up. All the videos will be on there, so you can go back to them time and time again. Subscribe to the channel, and then you can also please invite your friends and share, and let's get the beauty love out there. Okay, ladies, I will post the link for these products as well from Tropic. They do these as a set, £20. So that's for your hand cream, your cuticle oil, and your free stage buffer and file as well, just £20. So I'll put the link on there as well for that if you're interested. Okay, ladies, see you soon. Bye.